Hello everyone, Nightmare Nemo here, and we're back with another episode of Let's Read Give Yourself Goosebumps. And the series is basically I take one of the Give Yourself Goosebumps books, read out loud, give myself tries in order to get a good ending, and well, we'll see what happens. Not gonna lie, a lot of times this doesn't go too well, and I end up dying 3 times, so there's that, but it's always fun. So today's book is The Deadly Experiments of Dr. Eek. So we'll dive into this. Enter the laboratories of the evil Dr. Eek. These are labs with experiments so strange, so amazing, so terrifying. There are super smart chimps and never-ending mazes. There are growling German shepherds and mind-boggling virtual reality. One visit with Dr. Eek and science class will seem like kindergarten. The scary adventure is all about you. You decide what will happen, and you decide how terrifying the scares will be. Start on page 1, then follow instructions on the bottom of each page. You make the choices. If you make the right choices, you will escape from Dr. Eek's deadly labs alive. If you make the wrong choice, beware. So take a long, deep breath, cross your fingers, and turn to page 1 to give yourself goosebumps. So that's all for if you are actually reading this book yourself. So when I say like you decide everything, and no, I decide everything. I'm in the driver's seat, so sit back and enjoy our adventure with Dr. Eek. How did you get in here? A voice calls as you enter the waiting room at Eek Laboratories. That door is supposed to be locked at all times. You and your friend Sam jump. You didn't think anyone was around. Then you spot the receptionist sitting behind a tall desk. She's a short, frizzy-haired redhead wearing too much lipstick for her thin lips. She glares at you as if she expects you to turn around and leave. As soon as you figure out you're in the wrong place. I'm looking for my mom, you tell her. Who's your mom? Receptionist asks. She starts to pack up her things to leave. You glance at the clock. It's almost 5:30, quitting time. She's the new technician, you explain. She's working on some top secret experiments for Dr. Eek. Really? For Dr. Eek? The receptionist gazes at you suspiciously. Yeah, I guess, you say, but you're really not sure. How come your mom never mentioned him before? Dr. Eek? All she ever told you that was she had a new job in the research lab. You didn't know there was a medical doctor involved. Doctors give you the creeps. Are you sure your mom works for Dr. Eek? The receptionist grills you. She raises an eyebrow. Her eyebrows give you the creeps. In fact, this whole place gives you the creeps. From the minute he stepped off the elevator on the 19th floor, there was no signs of life, no one in the echoing hall, nothing but the creaking elevator door. And then you spot the door to Eek Labs. Your mother never told you about that either. The door looked like a door to a huge vault. It was huge steel and about 6 inches thick. Your best friend, Sam, pulled a small handle near the edge of the door. To your surprise, the door swung open easily. Okay, you told yourself. So the place has a weird door. That's no reason to freak out. Yeah, she works here, you tell the receptionist. She does research. Well, take a seat, she replies. I'm sure your mama will be right here. Then she packs up her oversized tote bag and walks out. You search around for a chair, then you see them. Across the room, the chairs are all orange plastic and they're all chained together. You sit down in an orange plastic chair, but Sam doesn't. He starts roaming around the waiting room. So, what movie is your mom going to take us to? Sam asks. You shrug. Who knows? But remember, Sam, we promised my mom we wouldn't act too wild here. You warn with a grin. Yeah, yeah, he says. Like he really cares. He wanders over to the receptionist's desk. He picks up a glass of clear liquid that's sitting there. It's probably just water. But, hey, you cry, don't drink that. But before you can stop him, he drinks it down. Sam drains the glass in one gulp. Then he rolls around to face you. Sam, I mean it, you moan. We can't fool around. This is a science lab. He starts to answer, but suddenly his face turns white. He clutches his throat and gasps, and then the veins on his neck start to pop out. A moment later, he makes a hideous face, as if he's turning to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You freeze. Your heart pounds wildly. What did you drink? You ask him. So it's, I assume by just my history of Goosebumps books that this cliffhanger is just false, and he's just Sam's just messing with him. He's obviously fine. You race across the desk, you pick up the glass Sam was drinking from, and sniff to see if it has a smell. Nothing. Sam bursts out laughing. He gives you a devilish grin. Water, Sam says, pointing at the glass. It's just water. You can't help laughing too. You're like Sam. He's funny, but sometimes your best friend can go too far. He's always playing crazy jokes on you. Sam gazes around. You're sure he's trying to find some other trouble to get into. Maybe we should look for my mom, you suggest. Anything to keep Sam from getting into more trouble. His eyes light up. Great idea, he cries. Maybe we could do our own experiments. On second thought, maybe you should just sit tight and wait. So, of course, this is our opportunity to make a choice. And we only have two choices. And it's pretty basic. You can either sit down and wait for your mom, or you go look for her. So, both pretty logical decisions there. I mean, the receptionist said if we just sit here and wait, our mom will be here shortly, or it could be proactive and go search for her. So, just trying to think of what's going to be more fun. I say let's go look for ourselves. Take matters into our own hands, right? That's probably what I would do, honestly, because I would hate having to wait around and be like, like when is she going to get here? And it's going to have to wait more, and it's boring. Let's get on with it. Let's go look for my mom, you tell Sam, but remember, no goofing around. This is a science lab. Right, Sam agrees. He zooms through the waiting room door into a long hallway. You quickly follow. The hallway is pretty boring, just a lot of closed doors on both white walls, and there's no way to know what's behind most of them. You open the first one and peek in. Bummer. It's just a lounge. At least that's what it looks like. There are two beat-up brown couches, a table, some chairs, and a bunch of vending machines. Got any change? Sam asks. I'm starving. You pull out coins from your pocket. You got enough for one snack selection. You drop the coins into the slot in the machine. You start to punch the number of your favorite candy bar. But before you can hit the buttons, a hand suddenly claps down on your shoulder. Wow, you gasp as you turn around. It's a big, hairy chimpanzee. You and Sam freeze. This chimp has you cornered in the lounge. Where did he come from? Is he friendly or dangerous? You have no idea what he'll do. And he's bigger than any chimp you've ever seen. In fact, he's at least as tall as you are. More like a gorilla, you think. You swallow hard. I've never seen a chimp up close like this before, Sam whispers. Me neither, you whisper back. The chimp tilts his head staring at you. He never seems to blink. Then slowly reaches his other big hairy hand toward your throat. Oh boy, this chimp is gonna kill us. Let's see. You want to scream, but nothing comes out. The chimp moves closer to your throat. But he doesn't grab you or even touch you. Instead, he reaches past you to the buttons on the candy machine. He points directly at A6. Hey, Sam cries. He wants you to get a different candy bar. Cool, you say, smiling at this amazing monkey. But is it okay to give candy to a chimp? Before you can decide, Sam pushes the buttons for A6. A chocolatey, peanutty thing drops into the slot. Sam quickly unwraps the candy bar and hands it to the chimpanzee. His monstrous teeth chomp down hard on the candy. He finishes it in 2 bites, and then pats you on the head. A moment later, he motions for you to follow him. Come on, let's see what he wants, Sam cries. I don't know, you reply. I thought we were looking for my mom. Maybe we should go back to the waiting room. Sam rolls his eyes. Where's your sense of adventure? Well, where is your sense of adventure? Okay, so basically we follow Chip or we go back to the waiting room. The Chip's on the front cover, and there's something definitely not right about the chimp. So, I guess he seems nice enough. He just wanted a candy bar, so let's see what he wants. You follow the chimp. He leads you quickly down the gleaming white hallway. Oddly enough, he seems to know exactly where he's going. When the chimp's not watching, Sam stoops over. He copies the chimp's lumbering scamper. Ooh, ooh, Sam cries, scratching his underarms and making chimp faces. Considering how tall and big this chimp is, it's probably not a good idea to make fun of him. He's obviously intelligent. He could be leading us to like a trapdoor or some crazy creature experiment gone wrong, and we like locks us in there and we like die as it rips us apart. So, probably not a good idea. Just saying. The the chimp turns around and catches Sam at it. He glares at both of you. Weird, you think? Chimps are supposed to be smart animals, but the gleam is in this one's eyes. Frankly, you think he looks smarter than Sam. Yeah, 'cause Sam's an idiot. So to make fun of the giant chimp. At last, you come to a door. The chimp opens it and makes a sound. It sounds kind of like Eek. What's in here, you wonder? You step through the door into a large laboratory. Sam follows right behind. Inside, a tall man wearing a lab coat writes on a clipboard. He whirls around. He glares at you with intense, dark eyes. Who are you? Demands Lottie. What are you doing here? So this is obviously Doctor. You try to stay cool, even with the scientist glaring at you. You introduce yourself and Sam to the man. You reach out to shake his hand. Grown-ups usually like that. Ah, yes, the man says, squeezing your hand a little too tightly. I know your mother well. A brilliant scientist. You smile proudly. The chimp tugs on the sleeve of the man's lab coat, trying to get his attention. He makes some signs with his hands. You can't figure out what he's trying to say, but he seems to be kind of sign language. The man nods as if he understands. I am Professor Yazark, one of Dr. Eek's assistants. The man says, I see you've met Oscar. He nods to the chimp. Would you care to take a look at our work? He leads you and Sam to a wall of windows. You both peer through. Wow, Sam gasps. Your mother falls open as you stare through the lab window. No, your mouth falls open, not your mom. That'd be horrible. To your amazement, the lab is filled with chimp, but they're not just monkeying around. They're doing cool things, playing checkers, painting pictures, and reading books. Maybe they're reading the Goosebumps. I don't know. Look, Sam says, those two chimps are playing video games. Wow, can you believe their scores? What kind of research are you doing in here? You ask Professor Yarzark. Studying the brains of chimpanzees, he explained. Chimps are very smart, and physically they're a lot like people. There's much we can learn from them. Oscar gives the professor a nudge, a hard nudge, as if he wants something. The professor jumps a little, then he turns to you. Oscar is wondering if you care to go inside. Professor Yarzark says he nods toward the next room to see the research up close. Sure, Sam cries. Can we play video games? Oscar would like that very much, Professor Zark replies with a strange smile. I don't know about this. What's he smiling about, you wonder? Come on, Sam urges you. What are you waiting for? So, we go to the room with the chips. If you think not, think of an excuse. So, right here we have the unique opportunity to play video games, possibly, with highly intelligent chimps. I mean, that makes for a great story. Why wouldn't you do that? It sounds awesome. So let's go ahead and do that. Why not take a quick look around the lab, you think? After all, your mom never lets you do anything like this. She never shows you any of this cool stuff. This might be your only chance. Yeah, we love to see the chimps, you tell Professor Yarzark. Professor Yarzark smiles. Oscar jumps up and down. Good, Professor Yarzark says. Quickly, he ushers you and Sam to the connecting door. And as soon as you walk in, all the chimps glance up. They stare at you and Sam without making a sound. Weird, you think? You hold very still, not wanting to scare the chimps. That's why you don't notice what's happening behind you. Oscar the chimp is slamming the door and locking it with a key. Hey, what's going on? Looks like we are in store for some serious monkey business. As soon as the door is locked, the chimps stop playing games and reading books. The fun and games are over. Several of them run to the windows and pull down the shades. Oh boy, I don't like this. Ugh. It's making it very, very uncomfortable. Then Oscar takes the lab coat from a hook on the wall and slips it on. He pulls something from the pocket and puts it in his palm. Then he walks over to Professor Yarzark and holds out his hand. Resting there is a small chocolate treat. Professor Yarzark snatches it and stuffs it in his mouth as if it's a reward. Oscar pats him on the head. Then Oscar points to the far corner of the room. Hey, you didn't see that before. The whole wall is lined with large cases. Eek, eek, Oscar cries, making that same sound again. Professor Yarzark obediently hurries over to one of the cages. He crawls inside, lies down, and curls up to take a nap. Uh-oh, Sam croaks, clutching your arm. Look! So we've been duped. We got this kind of like a typical twist, if you're familiar with Goosebumps, and you probably are, of it's like, oh no, you thought this was to be true, and then we flipped it on you. We flipped the roles. So you thought Professor Yarzark was in command of the experiments and the chimps, but it turns out the chimps are are in charge of everything, and it's basically like the inmates are running the asylum. So that's crazy. As you stare at the cages, you get a horrible sinking feeling. You see that several of the cages are occupied, but not by chimps, by people. They're all adults. Most of them are wearing lab coats, and all of them are asleep. Oh boy. Okay. Sam jabs you in the ribs and points. That woman curled up in the cage in the corner, it's the thin-lipped receptionist. No wonder the halls of Eeek laboratories were so empty. Hey, what's going on here? Sam shouts. Oscar smiles at you. A chimp smile. Then he lets out a series of eeks. You can't understand chimpanzee, but if you could, you'd hear Oscar saying, we're studying human brains. Humans are very smart. And physically, they're a lot like chimpanzees. There is much we can learn from them. Then he pats you on the head. We're especially delighted that we now have 2 human children to study. He goes on. It should be very interesting. You and Sam back away. You don't understand what he just said, but you stumble into a locked door. You're pretty sure you understand one very important scientific fact. This is definitely the end. So, this ending is basically we're going to be experiments. The chimps are going to be experimenting on us instead of the other way around. And not sure exactly what the experience would be detailing. It could be horrific, or they could be just kind of just mundane. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the very first choice, and this time we're going to decide to sit and wait for your mom to come back. So we'll see what happens here. Let's not mess around, you say to Sam. We should wait for my mom. You take a seat in one of the orange plastic chairs in the waiting room. Sam plops down in another one. Bummer, he says. I thought your mom was going to take us to the movies. She is, you assure him, as soon as she gets off work. But you look at your watch and think, uh-oh, she's late again. This has happened a lot lately. You hardly ever see your mom since she started working at Eeek Labs. She spends more and more time at the lab. When you complained about it this morning, she apologized and gave you a big hug. She offered to take you to dinner and the movies that night, and bring Sam if you want, she said. You check your watch again. It's almost 6 o'clock. Where is she? Suddenly the door opens. A short woman in a white lab coat steps into the waiting room. She stares at you and Sam, then she motions for you to come with her. Sorry, we've been running late, the woman says. I'm Vanessa. Follow me. You're here for the raster experiment, aren't you? Vanessa asks. The pay is $50 cash. You get at the end of the experiment, and it takes only about 20 minutes. Let's go. You look at Sam. $50, but what kind of experiment is it? So you got 2 choices. Either go along with this Vanessa, or if you don't want to take the chance. So we're kind of go like kind of against what my choice usually is. Like I like to go for like the direct, like kind of gung ho, and just be like, yeah, let's do it and see what happens. Let's roll the dice. But I'm just gonna be logical and be like, I did not sign up for that experiment, so I'm not going with that. No way, you tell Vanessa. We're not here for any experiment. We're waiting for my mom. Vanessa narrows her eyes at you. Her dark hair cascades over her lab coat. She looks like the witch from Snow White. Wait here, Vanessa instructs. I'll get Dr. Eeek. A moment later, an older man with gray hair walks through the door. Dr. Eeek is wearing a white lab coat just like Vanessa's. They're like, oh my god, they're wearing matching lab coats. Everyone wears the same kind of lab coat. That's totally weird, right? He has his on backwards. His face is soft and fleshy, and there's something odd about his right cheek. The flesh looks as if it's been pulled up to meet his right eye and is stapled there. It gives him a weird squint. Well, Dr. Eeek begins squinting at you. He sounds like a school principal who's just caught you stealing candy from the snack machine. What can I do for you two? I'm just waiting for my mom, you announce firmly. He asks your name, and you tell him. Ah, yes, Dr. Eeek says, follow me. So we're finally getting somewhere. Dr. Eek leads you down a long, white hallway. Doors line both walls. All the doors are closed, which gives you the creeps. What's going on behind them? Finally, Dr. Eek opens a door on the right. G Lab is printed on the door. Is this your mom's lab? Sam whispers. Who knows? You whisper back. Right this way, Dr. Eek instructs. He stands aside so that you and Sam can enter first. Inside the room is crowded with all the standard lab equipment. Tables, sinks, speakers, Bunsen burners, jars of strange-looking things. But your mom is nowhere in sight. Then you notice a blob of thick, oozy green stuff sitting on one of the black lab counters. It looks like a cross between minty toothpaste gel and silly putty. It's the size of a jello softball. A jello softball. Like, is that a thing? Is that a, like a real thing that you can get? A softball made of jello? I don't know. And it's glowing softly. What's that? Sam asks, pointing at the green goo. This, Dr. Eek says. He picks up the blob. Here, catch. He tosses the blob of goo right at you. Oh, great. I don't know what the hell this thing is. Is it gonna kill me? It's gonna, like, burn my flesh or something? Something horrible? A blob of green glue flies towards you. Sam dives in front of you and catches it. It's an old habit of his. Hogging the ball. Dr. Eek chuckles. Nice catch, he declares in a deep, sinister voice. How do you like my new invention? Sam stares down at his hands. His eyebrows wrinkle with worry. The green goo is sticking to his hands, and he can't seem to get them apart. What is this stuff? Sam moans. That's one of my very best experimental results, Dr. Eek replies. I call it my G substance. G for green, G for glowing, G for gooey. How about G for get it off me? Sam shrieks. He gasps. The stuff seems to be growing up Sam's arm. Ah, yes, Dr. Eek says. And I forgot to mention, G is for growing, too. Help! Sam screams. The goo slowly creeps up both of his arms towards his face. You know, this is probably not the case, but, I mean, there's the infamous green goo known as monster blood. I'm thinking, like, this sounds like monster blood, but it's probably not. Quickly, you try to pull the sticky, glowing green stuff off Sam's hands, but it's really stuck. You can get only about half of it off. And guess what? Now your hands are stuck together too. Have fun, people, Dr. Eek says. He salutes you briskly with a quick snap of his hand over that weird eye. Then he shuffles out of the room. For the next few minutes, you and Sam struggle with the goo. You claw at your hands and your arms, trying to pull off. But it's no use. The stuff is too sticky, and it's growing thicker all the time. Within minutes, the goo has grown all the way up both of your arms and is starting to encircle your throat. Just as it slides towards your mouth, Dr. Eek returns. Well, people, how are we doing? He says with an evil smile. Are we ready to cooperate now? Because I could get that stuff off of you if you're willing to do the raster experiment. That's what we got out of before, and we're like, hey, are you here with the raster experiment? I'm like, no, but $50 sounds good. It's like, no, I'm gonna wait for my mom. So we actually got 3 choices. So we can cooperate with Dr. Eek, or you can smear some of the goo on Dr. Eek, or 3, if you if you just run like mad, and run in mad is in all caps. That sounds hilarious. Alright. Running like mad sounds hilarious though. Let's go do that. This sounds funny. It's like what do we do? What do we do? Just run like mad. I don't know why. Just do it. Sounds like a good idea. No way, you shout, Dr. Eek. I'm not going to be your guinea pig. Then, with the goo growing all over your face, you turn and bolt for the door. Come on, Sam. Let's run, you try to say. The two of you sprint like world-class athletes down the hall to the waiting room, and luckily, that big bolt door in front is standing slightly ajar, so you zoom into the hall and catch a down elevator. Ew, yuck. Teenage girl in the elevator cries when she sees you. Uh-oh, the green stuff is grossing her out. I don't know what she's complaining about, Sam says. I mean, look at her. Her skin is green. What? Yeah, you think yourself, and so is her hair, and her clothes, and hey, hold on. Everything looks green to you. Then you catch a glimpse of yourself in a highly polished chrome elevator panel. That's when you realize the goo has completely covered your head. All right, we're going to take another look at ourselves and see what's going on here. You stare at your image in the chrome panel. The goo has grown up over your nose, eyes, hair, and all the way down the back of your head. In fact, it covers every inch of the top half of your body. From the waist up, you're green and sticky gooey. You look like a creature from a cheap science sci-fi film. From the waist down, you look like a regular kid. Luckily, the goo doesn't choke you. You can breathe through it, and you can see. It just makes everything look green. When the elevator reaches the next floor, the door opens and your mom gets on. Mom, hi, you try to say, only a sound doesn't come out. Ah, she screams, spotting you with sound. Aliens from outer space. And she calls herself a scientist? Well, bad news. If your own mother thinks you're an alien, what do you think the United States military is going to do when they get a good look at you? That's right, it's time to learn how to say Rick, 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 which is Martian for the end. So that's our second attempt. Gone like the wind. Oh boy. So we're going to skip over back to the last decision we had, the three choices. We're not going to go for the stupid one this time. Like, oh, this guy's just run like hell. So we are back where we were with the three choices. So down to two this time. We cooperate or we smear some of the goo. I say we smear some of the goo on him. So that's going to force him to get this stuff off of us because obviously it'll affect him now. Help, Dr. Eeek. With the raster experiment. No way, you creep, you shout, Dr. Eeek. You're not going to experiment on us. Then you lunge at him with your gooey hands. You try to smear some of the goo on him. It sticks to his hands, but it doesn't seem to bother him. Ha 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 ha, Dr. Eeek shouts, tossing his head back and roaring with laughter. What's so funny, you wonder? You're not laughing. The green goo is creeping into your nose now. He glanced over at Sam. He seems to be in a trance. The goo is covering his mouth. Neither of you can breathe. Find out what's so funny on the next page. Slowly, Dr. Eek takes his right hand and begins to pick a spot on his left wrist, just above the gobble goo you smeared on. You gasp. He's pulling off his skin. No, you realize he's pulling off a thin, lifelike rubber flesh-colored glove, a glove that looks exactly like his real hand. So that's why the goo didn't hurt him. A moment later, he reaches up and pulls off a skin-tight, lifelike mask that's covering his face. No, you shout when you see his real face. It's not the same face as the mask. Instead, he has the pasty, pudgy face of a man your mom once showed you in your picture. A man who was fired from her lab for being totally crazy. You're Hubert Wimpelmeyer, the crazed scientist. He tried to shout. Herbert Wimpelmeyer. That's really his name. It's ridiculous. But the green goo is creeping into your mouth. His name comes out sounding like Herbert Dumpelmer. I hate it when people can't pronounce my name, Dr. Eek growls. Dr. Eek still has a glove on one of his hands. He moves towards you, then pulls some of the green goo out of your mouth. There, you've got about 2 minutes until the G substance slips back into your mouth and down your throat, he tells you with a horrible laugh. Now, what were you saying? You gasp for air, then talk fast. You work with my mom at Eek Labs, you say, until you got fired for being crazy. Not at Eek Labs, Dr. Eek corrects you. EIK Labs. Ick Labs. It stands for Engineered Inner Knowledge, and yes, I did get fired. That's why I started my own lab, in the same building, just one floor above. Huh, you say, not quite understanding. It's simple, Herbert Wimpelmeyer explains with a nasty shake of his hand. You got off the elevator on the wrong floor. You glance at the clock. You have only 1 minute left. Quick! Turn to the next page before you choke on the goo. I'm like, okay. Sounds like something I would do. Like, oh, I'm in the wrong place. I look like an idiot. You got a sinking feeling in your gut as the message sinks in. You're on the wrong floor. Your mom's lab is downstairs. I'll give you one chance, Dr. Eek says as the goo starts creeping back up your face. One chance to either escape or find the antidote. The antidote? You mean there's something that will reverse the effects of the goo? A way to make this stuff stop growing all over you? 20 seconds left, Dr. Eek warns. Then he closes his eyes and starts to count. 1, 2, 3. He's counting pretty fast. So we got two choices. Search the lab for an antidote, or buy more time by smearing goo all over Dr. Eek's real face. It's like, hey, let's try the thing that totally didn't work last time, and just try it again. Just, why not, right? That's that's pretty much what an insane person would do, trying the same thing over and over, expecting different results, and obviously you're going to get the same results. So we are going to search for the antidote while this green stuff's all over our face and getting slowly entering our bodies through every orifice. That if that doesn't sound terrifying, I don't know what does. Your heart hammers wildly in your chest. You've got to find the antidote. Time is running out. You open one lab drawer after another. 16, 17, 18, Dr. Eek says. Now he's toying with you, counting more slowly. His eyes are still closed. None of the drawers contain anything that looks even remotely like an antidote to the goo, and it's taking you so long to open them. Your sticky hands cling to everything you touch. Then you see it in the last drawer, a jar of red gooey stuff. Could it be? 20, Dr. Eek cries, opening his eyes. You don't wait. You unscrew the lid of the jar, plunge a slimy green hand into the red stuff, and scoop out a handful. It smells sweet, so you put it in your mouth. It's like, it smells sweet, so it must be good, right? You know, that's probably not going to be the case. This is going to be bad. This is a bad decision. Ha 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 ha, Dr. Eek laughs uproariously. You think you can save your life that way? You're eating strawberry jam. Oh no, he's right. Guess what? You're allergic to strawberries. Oh, crap. This is horrible. You break out in hives. Little bumps pop all over your body, on your face, your neck, your arms, your hands. Even your tongue is covered with reddish, swelling, bumpy things. But the hives are nothing compared to the feeling of the green goo. It's sliding into your nose, your mouth, even your eyes. It feels like a million snakes slinking their way into your air passages. You're going to suffocate any second. All at once, Sam seems to snap out of a trance he's been. He springs into action and runs right at Dr. Eek. Have a taste of your own medicine, Doctor, Sam yells. Then he smears some of the green gobblegoo on the doctor's face. Ah! Dr. Eek screams in terror. He rolls out of the room, and from the look on his face, you figured he's heading for the antidote. Oh, so apparently that attempt at smearing the stuff on him actually worked. I don't know why he would just like stand there and well, yeah, anyway. You follow Dr. Eek as he races down the hall, pulls open another lab door, and hurries in. Inside there is an enormous glass box with a hinged door. Dr. Eek dashes to the chamber and tries to pull the door closed. Not so fast, you shout. You and Sam dash into the box with him. It's like cramming 3 sweaty people into a phone booth, too close for comfort, and you can tell there is very little air inside. But who cares? The minute Dr. Eek closes the door, the white gas fills the box and the goo dissolves. You were right. It's the antidote box. You're safe, except... How come this door won't open? Sam asks. He bangs on the handle. Hey, how come the lights just went out? You cry. You stare into the total pitch darkness of the lab. You're locked in an airtight box with a crazy person. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is going to be fun. Oh no. Yeah. The only speck of light anywhere is the glow-in-the-dark face on Dr. Eek's wristwatch. In the darkness, you can feel him bend his head to look at you. He groans. What? You ask. Nothing, Dr. Eek says. It's just that they're right on time. Who? You ask. The electric company, Dr. Eek says. I'm afraid I haven't paid my electric bill for the past 3 months. They threatened to turn off the power at 7 p.m. If they didn't come up with the cash, I guess they weren't kidding. Kidding? Nope, they weren't kidding. And you're not laughing either. Why? Because it takes a big gulp of air to laugh, and you're out of air in the end. And so that brings us to the end of this Let's Read Give Yourself Goosebumps episode. And we died 3 times. Well, technically, we didn't die all 3 times. The first one being we're going to be experimented by highly intelligent chimpanzees, and we don't know exactly what those experiments would entail. So we would probably survive, or we would die slowly. I don't know. So that has been the deadly experiments of Dr. Eek, and it was okay. I mean, I really didn't expect a whole lot from this, other than, I just figured like, a book about like science going wrong, mad science is always, a fun time, but this one was just okay. nothing all that great happened. It's just, I don't know. Some of the other options sounded a lot cooler. Like, in the back of the book, it says you could find like a half dog, half kid who's wearing sneakers, and then there's the maze part. And so obviously, the choices we made led to paths in the story that were not as cool. I feel we got kind of gypped, but it was okay, I guess. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this more than I did, and maybe we will revisit this one in the future and try to find those story paths that are way cooler. So, anyways, I'm Nightmare Nemo. This has been Let's Read, Give Yourself Goosebumps, and I'll see you guys next time for a Halloween themed episode as we spend one night at Pain House. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.